All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of SportsBros. Once again, I'm Peter, joined by Jordan. Ethan dealing with the flu. Could have had his flu game, but didn't do that. Hope you feel better, Ethan.
Yeah,
Hopefully, see you next week. We got a lot of stuff to recap, Jordan. A lot of things have happened.
we do.
So let's get right into it. March Madness. We're in the Final Four.
We are in the Final Four. It's getting down to the final moments, and every team in the Final Four is the number one seed.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not as exciting for like a fan.
Yeah.
This year, March Madness, but I mean Duke just unstoppable. Walter's been going off. Houston, great coach, and Auburn just complete team.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's the first time since like 2008 or something
Yeah.
like that all one seeds are in the Final Four, which is kind of cool. Like you're going to see good basketball,
mhm.
but also like this year, man, no Cinderella runs. We kind of talked about it last time. We said, the McNeese manager was the
Yeah, it was like
poster.
the highlight.
Yeah, it was the poster child of March Madness, which is kind of embarrassing.
Mhm.
And we dove into NIL and stuff, but yeah. So who do you think's making the finals?
I got to go with Walt.
He's
beating
insane.
Auburn.
Yeah.
And I feel like Duke with Cooper Flag. It's just when you have a player like Cooper or Walter on your team, like you're just unstoppable at that time. And I feel like Duke has it. Florida, that would be a great championship game.
I agree. Who do you think wins that?
If I was a betting man.
Yeah, if you were a betting man,
I'll go Florida.
Yeah, bro. I just love what Walt's doing, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I know we kind of talked about him not being too high in the mock drafts. I actually just saw a mock draft a few days ago. He was going in the late 20s.
Oh,
So
really?
he's starting to climb.
Yeah.
Like we were
He's
talking
starting to
about, he's starting to climb. I'm telling you, I think by the time the draft rolls around, I could see him being maybe like an end of the lottery or maybe like right outside the lottery, which I mean is well deserved for Walter Clayton. He's the best guard in the country this year. He's an absolute stud.
He is, especially if he beats Cooper Flag or Houston in the finals. That just raises his stock exponentially, and it's like, I know he's 22, but you just got to take a chance on that type of player.
Also, just because he's 22, I mean, I feel like that means he's a guy who could come in day one and be your backup point guard.
Yeah.
I feel like to basically any NBA roster could come in and step in right away.
Sixth man, yeah.
Especially if he beats Flag, dude. Flag is, generational talent, number one.
Yeah.
And if you say this is the guy who went head to head and beat him in the finals, I mean, it's hard for him not to get drafted. But yeah, hopefully the games, keep up. Hopefully they're good. I feel like Duke might just destroy Houston. Duke just destroys everyone, I feel like.
Duke just destroyed Alabama like 85-65. And Alabama put up over 100 points against BYU.
So that's what I mean. Duke's coming out different this year. It's not just Flag. They also have Proctor, and their center is going to be a lottery pick. They're pretty loaded. But we'll see what happens with those. Let's jump to baseball.
Let's do it.
How about our Yanks?
Let's torpedo over the base.
How about our Yanks?
Yankees are doing good. I mean, they lost twice to the Diamondbacks, but they started the season strong. I like how everyone hates us again.
Well, it's always like that.
Yeah, but with like the torpedo bats, I just give like the fans a reason to hate us even more. So
I feel like it's so stupid, the torpedo bats. I mean,
it's being used around the league.
It's being used by everyone. Francisco Lindor's using a torpedo bat, and he has like 2 hits this year.
Yeah.
It's not the bat, it's the player. Obviously, the bat, it probably helps. I mean, it definitely does help, but at the end of the day, you still got to be a good hitter. It's not like it just makes it an automatic hit every single time. So that's why. But I love it. I love people hating on the Yankees. Always making excuses. Oh, the Yankees this, Yankees that. Yeah. How about we're just good?
Yeah, I mean, even Aaron Judge is not using the torpedo bats, and he has 4 home runs in 5 games.
I love Aaron Judge. Probably he's got to be the favorite, right, to win MVP?
Right now, probably, yeah. 100%.
He's having an insane start to the season. But back to the Yankees, I mean, that first game against the Diamondbacks, Mark Leiter absolutely blew it. They had that game in the bag.
Yeah.
And then, what was it, yesterday? Yesterday,
they lost 4-3.
Yeah, Volpe made it close in the bottom of the 9th, hitting a home run. But I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the kids. Wells, Volpe.
Yeah.
Even Dominguez, I think hit his first home run, 2 games ago? But he's having pretty good at-bats. I like what I'm saying. Will Warren pitched a gem. He pitched good, and I think as long as this pitching could hold up, and hopefully no more injuries happen, and they get some guys back healthy. I mean, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season for the Yanks. I think if they're good enough, come deadline time, I think they could like make a big swing on a pitcher, like a starter,
Yeah.
maybe like a Dylan Cease like
Mhm.
type, just a 1 year rental just for the postseason. But
Or even that guy from Miami, Sandy.
yeah, Sandy, yeah. So I mean, listen, I think it could happen because I said I didn't want to set my expectations too high
Mhm.
for this season, but I'm not gonna lie, that completely went out the window when that
Those
first
first
series
3
against the
games,
Brewers, bro. They're
yeah.
just hitting all those bombs. I'm like, all right, I'm in. I'm
Yeah.
invested now. So
Like
let's go. The Knicks aren't looking too good. The Giants are the Giants. So listen, man. If the Yanks are gonna go out, I'm all in on the Yanks, baby.
yeah, I mean, that's how I feel too. It's like the Rangers are doing decent,
Yeah.
but, like, they
They're,
made
like,
it to the
mid.
Eastern Conference
Yeah.
Finals, like, I think like last year, and now they're, like, barely making the playoffs. So
Yeah.
all I got left in New York is the Yankees as well. And going back to like that 3-game series, like Jazz was doing good,
Mhm.
Volpe, Wells with the leadoff home run was
Oh my God.
crazy.
Love it.
Bellinger's doing all right. It's like the hitting's there, so they
Yeah.
just got to get the pitching.
Yeah. The hitting is absolutely there. Jazz, what a difference he makes in second, man.
Yeah,
Like as opposed to
he's
Glaber.
quick with it too.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Like I used to get in so many arguments with Yankee fans about Glaber. They're like,
Mhm.
what do you mean you hate Glaber? He's been there so long. And, like he was a pretty good bat for us, but as far in the field, and you see Jazz making these plays, it's like effortless plays too
Yeah,
at second from Jazz. Meanwhile, Glaber would have had like 10 errors by now, some of the plays Jazz is making. So, I mean, I wish Glaber nothing but the best, but Jazz is clearly an upgrade at second.
yeah.
And yeah.
Glaber was a good leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
But in the field and like the base running too was just
Oh
so
my God,
bad.
awful.
But like Jazz,
Yeah.
he like no, that's like his primary position, I think,
Yeah.
second base. So he just makes it look effortlessly. But he's got great hitting.
Yeah.
And he's just like a flashy player. Like I like him talking his trash.
Oh, I
'Cause,
love
like
it. People
you
don't
need
like
someone
that.
on the team to
Yeah.
like fire up the other players.
I feel
too.
like in every sport, you kind of need a guy who has that, a little bit of attitude to him, kind of talks a little hot, but I mean, that's what you need to get the team riled up, get the team going sometimes. And yeah, so I think it's great. Dodgers 8-0.
Another team that's going off is the
8-0.
Dodgers. Yeah.
It just feels like they might not lose. They
They
were
had
just
that
down.
walk-off home run last night too,
Yeah.
with Ohtani.
They were down 5-0 in like
Yeah.
the second to the Braves, and the Braves are 0-7. A
Yeah.
team that we talked about being,
Like
one of the best.
second best, yeah.
Yeah, but
0-7 is crazy.
yeah, I saw this morning a team has never started 0-7 and made the playoffs.
Really?
Never. But obviously, it is a long season, and I do think the Braves will get in, even though they lost Profar
Yeah, I saw that with the
PEDs.
PEDs.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that because I think
might throw them off.
I think Verdugo's starting for them. So good luck to them. But
Yeah.
it just seems like no one's going to beat the Dodgers.
Yeah, Dodgers are going insane, but also the Padres are 7-0
Yeah,
too.
7. Padres
They
are
got
another
good
team.
pitching.
We talk about good team on paper. Usually, they can't really put it together. But people gotta realize they gave the Dodgers a very competitive series in the playoffs. Very
Yeah.
competitive Dodgers. Like the Padres probably should have won that series. So it was very close. Padres are a way better team than people think. And yeah, that should be interesting how
Yeah.
baseball unfolds.
Just like that division the Dodgers are in. The Dodgers, Padres, Giants, Diamondbacks.
loaded.
That's a stacked division.
Loaded.
And then in the NL East with the Braves are 0-7, but the Phillies are 4-1. Like the Marlins and the Mets are doing like
Yeah,
decent.
it's still early.
But it's like the Mets on paper are good,
Yeah.
but I think the Mets are gonna Met. Like
Yeah.
like you said last
Yeah,
week. It's
Mets are gonna Met.
that's just how they operate.
Yeah.
They're like decent, and then they just can't figure it out.
Yeah, usually how it goes. But yeah, it's still very early, to kind of tell. I think once another month into the season, then
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of get an idea of what these teams are doing
Mhm.
and things like that.
I like always for like the baseball season, like the first week, I'm like, oh, we're gonna make the playoffs, we're gonna win the
Yeah,
World Series, we're
yeah.
gonna like lose it, and then like by July, it's like a whole different
Yeah.
team,
Well,
whole different
baseball,
look.
a lot of up and downs in the
Yeah.
baseball season. That's why I try not to get like too into it, maybe by like All-Star break,
Mhm.
because I feel like and after the trade deadline, because I feel like by then you kind of know, like
Yeah.
if your team is a contender or not, or what's going on.
Yeah, because like the deadline really like shows you where your team's at. If they're trading away players,
Exactly.
if they're acquiring the players that you need to get a championship. It makes it like for me more entertaining around
Yeah.
that time, like you said.
I
But like
agree.
my dad always has it on, so
Yeah, I know.
like whenever I'm home, it's always on.
Yeah, that's why for me personally, like, if I'm doing nothing, I'll throw the game on.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna go out of my way like, oh, I can't, do this because
To
the
watch a
Yankees
3-hour
are. Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not like that. I'm not like that.
Mhm.
For football, yeah. And speaking of football,
The Giants.
the Giants, we signed Russell Wilson to a 1-year deal. I think it's like 10 million with incentives up to 20.
Mhm.
I really did not want Russ, honestly.
Yeah.
I really wanted Rodgers, but I don't even know what Rodgers did. I don't know what's taking him so long. Well, like we talked about, he's like a weirdo,
Mhm.
I know he was like privately throwing with DK like last week.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, so I don't know, like just sign with the Steelers, like you're throwing with their number one receiver. He's so dramatic, Rodgers. Like he just needs to lock in. But listen, I do think Russ brings something to the table that the Giants haven't had probably since Eli, which is like an elite deep ball thrower. The
Mhm.
thing with Russ, I have a few concerns. It's, he holds onto the ball sometimes too much. He takes too many sacks. But now, if you pay attention to the mock drafts, almost everyone has us getting Travis Hunter, which if we get Travis Hunter, I feel like that automatically, like Giants probably have a top 3 receiving duo in the league with Neighbors and Hunter. I mean, that would be insane. If you have Neighbors, Hunter, Russell Wilson, and then you have Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, Theo Johnson, that's a solid group right there. Or they could also get Abdul Carter, the edge rusher from Penn State. Could never have enough pass rush. Defense wins championships. I really don't know what they're going to do in the draft. They could still take Shador.
Yeah.
They could really still like Shador and draft him and have him sit for a year behind Russ and behind Winston and learn. Me personally, though, I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, no. I think if they were to draft a quarterback, then they wouldn't have signed both
Yeah.
Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. I think since they signed both of them, it's like I think Russell Wilson's going to start for them, and I think you go with a wide receiver
Yeah.
like Travis Hunter would be like insane.
Yeah.
Him and Malik Neighbors, super young, super talented. They got a great like wide receiver duo,
Yeah.
like maybe best in the league in like 3 years.
That's what I'm maybe even less. I mean, as far as wide receiver duos go, I mean, obviously Higgins and Chase are one.
Yeah.
They're dogs.
But Jefferson and Addison too.
Jefferson and Addison,
nasty.
that's another great duo. I think them and then AJ Brown and Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
really it. Like as far as like duo, those are maybe the only 3 you could even debate putting over like a Neighbors and Hunter hypothetical duo. But yeah, I really don't know what they're gonna do. Like you said, if they didn't sign both, like if they just stuck with Winston or maybe they just had Russ, then I'd say yeah. But this Giants coaching staff, like they're coaching for their jobs this year. So I don't think they would have Russ and Winston and then a rookie. I think you need like a day 1 impact player.
So you think they're like playing for this season?
I think, okay, the Hunter pick, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, immediate impact this year. Nasty receiver duo. But then also, if you go into next year, right, drafting a quarterback in a better quarterback draft class, and you have Neighbors and Hunter already for your rookie quarterback, oh my, that makes his life so much easier.
Yeah.
Also, I wouldn't
agree.
rule out the Giants taking a quarterback in the 2nd round and the 3rd round, like maybe a Milrow or Jackson Dart, like just getting another young guy in there to learn. Nothing that wouldn't surprise me, but I do think with their 3rd overall pick, because if you look, the beginning of the offseason, they went heavy on Matt Stafford, which they were willing to give him $55 million and trade capital. They were going to trade like I think 2 second rounders for him. You don't do that if you're drafting a QB number 3. And then they wanted Rodgers. I don't think you get Rodgers if you were planning on drafting a QB number 3.
Yeah.
I think everything that the Giants have done in this offseason has been constructed in a way to where they're going to pick best player available, number 3.
I agree. I mean, going on like what you said about defense too, it's like they would have like a top receiving duo in Hunter and Neighbors, but like Abdul Carter too is a beast.
Oh,
and it's like I feel like the Giants need a better defense, like for sure.
Yeah.
Then,
I mean,
they would need a better wide receiver.
Yeah. We have pieces on defense. We invested in our secondary, got a new safety and a new corner in free agency. So we do need a couple more pieces, couple D line depth, but that's really it. Honestly, I mean the secondary is pretty solid. It's really just D line next to Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns. But I have full confidence that they'll figure it out. They'll settle it down. I just want to see winning football, man. I mean, I know you've seen some good football recently with the Vikings, but
yeah. I mean, up until the playoff game against the Rams, but Sam Darnold was balling. He was like the MVP, like the first couple of weeks. But maybe that's just like any quarterback you put with Justin Jefferson, just goes up.
I also
like
do
crazy.
think it's a thing where yes, Justin Jefferson and just Kevin O'Connell, like any QB in that system.
Kevin O'Connell's a great head coach.
So good. But like you said, you put a young quarterback, McCarthy, with Jefferson and Addison.
Yeah.
Bro, with Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, still got Aaron Jones. Like, bro, that's going to make his life so easy, JJ. He doesn't even have to be like, he just needs to play conservative football.
Yeah.
And the Vikings probably like coast to like 11 wins.
Yeah, I agree. Because like we have the great like offensive weapons already in place for next year. Like we have a top tight end, Jefferson's offensive like player of the year, like almost every year.
Yeah.
Like you could put him up there. Aaron Jones, people sleep on Aaron Jones. I feel like he's not bad at all.
He's good. He's getting older. I know he's like, the thing is he's a guarantee to miss like 4 weeks like every year. That's why I think they got Jordan Mason to pair with him. That's right, bro. Vikings, man, top to bottom, that might be like a top 3 roster in the whole NFL, bro. They're loaded, the Vikings.
We upgraded our defense, over the past couple of years, but I feel like our defense is always like our Achilles heel. It's like our cornerbacks and like our defensive backs. It's like if we're going up against T. Higgins and like Jamar Chase, like we can get cooked.
Yeah,
like super.
I have noticed that they do tend to struggle against like the elite, like receivers. But I don't know. I think they might figure it out.
That's why, like in the playoff game against like Cooper Kupp,
and Puka,
it's like
couldn't stop him. That's bro, because in the NFL, in today's NFL, you need 2 number ones.
Yeah,
if you have 2 number 1 receivers, it makes it so hard to like stop these guys. Like I know back then, even like 10 years ago, wide receiving groups were really made. It was like you had your one elite guy, and then you had like some decent pieces around him. Now you see, bro, the Bengals, they paid Higgins and Chase because if you have 2 guys who could be a number 1, you as a defense, you can't double team both.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be one guy who's getting the one-on-ones. That's why like Jefferson and Addison, and that's why hopefully like Neighbors and Hunter, it makes it so much easier on offense. And I'm excited for the draft. I'm gonna be there. I'm going to the draft.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm fired up, man.
So if the Giants picked, would you like be like disappointed in? Because I feel like the Giants could have one of those like Daniel Jones type moments again.
All right. Well, obviously I'd love Carter and I'd love Hunter. But I wouldn't even be mad at Shador, because if they're drafting Shador, then that to me shows that they think he's the guy. And if you think he's the guy, you take him. But now if it comes out and it's like, oh, they didn't really think that highly of him, they felt forced to take a quarterback, then I'd be disappointed. But I don't think at number 3 there's really any pick that would make me upset or disappointed. I mean, listen, I've been through it all as a Giants fan. I've seen Eli Apple, I've seen Kadarius Toney, I've seen Evan Ingram. I was there when Daniel Jones got drafted live.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, there's nothing they could really do to disappoint me. I'm gonna be honest, but
you're just like used to it.
Yeah, I think if they did take Shador though, I'd be like, and like Hunter was on the board, I would be like, all right. But I wouldn't hate it. But I guess I would be a little disappointed.
Got it. Yeah. I feel like if I was a Giants fan, I would want Travis Hunter for sure, because it's like Malik Neighbors was really good last year.
Yeah,
and he was like the standout. Last year. So you match him with another wide receiver, that makes Malik Neighbors' job like a lot easier too.
Exactly.
So
that's what I'm saying. What about
get more points on the board?
Yeah. What about for your Vikes?
For the Vikes,
what position? Because I know you guys upgraded your line.
We did
pretty heavily.
I'm looking at the mock drafts right now.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of mocks have them taking a defensive tackle, if I'm not mistaken.
Vikings. It says Trey Amos.
Oh, a corner. Well, yeah,
Cornerback
like
from
you
Ole
said,
Miss,
like you said, they struggled
Yeah.
going up against receivers. So yeah, I could see a corner for them. There's a lot of good corners in this draft.
Yeah. I mean, like we have a late pick in the first round.
Yeah.
So I'm not expecting like a top
Yeah.
caliber player, but if we can upgrade our defense, that's like all I want.
I mean, recently the Vikings have been really good recently at drafting. I
They
know
haven't.
the new GM Kwesi.
Yeah.
I know his first draft, like first couple drafts was rough.
Yeah.
But like he's locked and people wanted him fired and he's locked in.
We got like Justin Jefferson in like the middle of the first round.
Yeah, that I mean
because I think the Eagles went Jalen Rieger.
Yeah, they went Jalen Rieger. The Broncos took Judy.
Yeah.
The Raiders took Ruggs.
Mm-hmm.
So like all those guys, Dallas took Lamb, so you can't fault them.
CeeDee Lamb's good.
CeeDee Lamb's a dog. But all those other guys, all those other receivers, I mean, like they're bums. Like, but yeah,
I mean, like Henry Ruggs, maybe, but like
but
the whole situation.
He was always just like a one-trick pony, like a speedster guy.
Jerry Judy at the time was good, but
I mean, he showed some flashes last year too, Judy, but I don't think he's all that.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean. I always tell people, it's not where you draft, it's who you draft.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and we see it every single year. Some of the top guys that you think are can't miss guys, and this guy's gonna be a stud, and they're just busts.
Yeah, or
like their situation doesn't turn out great. And you see a lot of times, these guys that get drafted to good teams, good organizations, they work out because, and we kind of talked about it. I don't know if it was last episode or 2 episodes ago. We talked about like getting put in a good situation, where you could learn as, in a stable organization is really like the most important thing for these rookies.
Yeah. I mean, take like Caleb Williams, for example.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, if he had like a better team around him, I feel like he'd be a better player. It's
I mean, that's how it works. And that's why, you invest a lot into building up the roster for these young guys. That's why I want Travis Hunter. Because whatever rookie we get next year, or let's say we draft a rookie this year and he learns for a year, bro, I mean, they're gonna be set up. I mean, you don't have to do much if you're throwing to, Neighbors and Hunter.
Yeah, no.
So that's why, I mean,
it makes the job a lot easier.
Exactly. So that's why that's what I'm advocating for. Hopefully that happens,
But like take the Packers, for example. It's like they're doing so good with like their quarterbacks because they have the rookies learn from like the best.
3 years.
Like Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers.
Packer fans are so spoiled, dude.
Yeah.
Bro, going from
they have a great like quarterback. Like
dude, you go from 15 years of Brett Favre to 15 years of Aaron Rodgers, and then probably going to be another 15 years of Jordan Love. I mean, I'm not the biggest Jordan Love fan. I think he has his problems. I don't think he was worth. I think he's the highest paid QB right now, or like second behind like Trevor Lawrence. I mean, QB contracts are nuts.
Yeah,
but
Trevor Lawrence is crazy.
Yeah, it's absurd. But I do think he is a good quarterback, and I don't know. Like my brother's a Packers fan. He'll never understand the struggles of like a Giants fan or a Vikings fan.
Yeah, the Vikings, we have like 3 quarterbacks like every year pretty much.
I know, bro. Yeah, you guys for a while, you were going from like Sam Bradford to Teddy Bridgewater. And then Cousins gave you some, stability for
Cousins was decent.
Yeah, he wasn't amazing.
Case Keenum's run was insane though. The Minneapolis Miracle too. That was a great season.
You still think about that like once a day?
I do.
I would. Bro, I that play pops up in my head like at least once every other week, and I'm not even a Vikings fan.
That play was like the greatest. That or like the LeBron block to me.
Oh,
or like the 2 plays that like I think are the greatest plays I've ever seen in my life.
Live? Yeah, I'd have to agree with you.
Like that LeBron block too, where he came like he wasn't even like in the picture.
Yeah, he like flew.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You would think he's like he got super speed or something.
Yeah, but like going back to the Minneapolis Miracle, it's just I remember stressing watching that game like with my dad and my brother, and then that play happens and he catches it, and I'm just like jumping up and down for like 20 minutes afterwards.
That Saints team was loaded too.
Yeah,
those were the years where the Saints like they had a contender, and it was like every year they were losing. You guys beat them twice in the playoffs.
We did. We beat them in overtime, and then we beat them with that miracle. But then also like the Saints should have won a Super Bowl. It was against the Rams.
Yes,
with the pass interference. Yeah, that was a terrible missed call.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I know we were debating Breeze and Rodgers, but both those guys probably have some of like the most infamous playoff chokes. Like every year,
do.
like they were supposed to go to the Super Bowl, one of them, or even sometimes it was like, oh, they should have matched up. They never even matched up together in the NFC Championship,
Yeah,
the
that's
Saints or
wild.
the Packers.
Yeah.
And they were the favorites like basically every year in the NFC for like a 5-year period. And they just couldn't get it done. That's why, these NFL teams, you have a window, you got to take advantage of it, especially when you have a guy on a rookie quarterback because you could surround him with other pieces, you could pay other guys. And yeah.
Yeah, nah. That's why I think going back to the draft, I think that's why I think the Giants should take Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Because you get a great offensive great offensive weapons, and then it makes the quarterback like you can have a great quarterback,
Yeah.
like a Drew Brees type player, or like a Sam Darnold,
Yeah.
and then you can still make the playoffs
Yeah.
too.
Listen, the Vikings showed it this year. As long as you have a great system and a great coach, obviously the elite quarterbacks take you to the next level, but the next best thing is having the weapons and the coach, and then the quarterback kind of just, do his
Just
thing.
like not messing up.
Yeah, exactly. You like Darnold, you just don't have to mess up. And then in that playoff game,
Yeah.
he messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, that's why
he was seeing ghosts again.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Seeing ghosts. Oh, that was great. I can't believe he said that and someone caught him saying that.
Yeah.
Like that was a real thing that he said. I think I'm seeing ghosts out there.
Insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the draft to come up. I'm excited to see what the Vikings do. I'm not expecting anybody like big, but if we can just upgrade our defense, that's all I really want.
Yeah, I agree. We'll probably talk more about the draft next week. Maybe do a little mock or something with Ethan here. Get his thoughts on the Packers. Next time, obviously, we're gonna recap March Madness. We're gonna have a winner by then, right?
Yeah.
When's the final?
I think Monday night.
All right, yeah. So we'll definitely have by then. Hopefully, the Yankees keep on hitting dingers. This was Sports Bros. I'm Peter. This is Jordan. Signing off.